Hello, thank you for tuning in to Kaieteur Radio. I am Kevin Smith and welcome to your news at noon. These are the top stories we are tracking. Guyana gives more than $35 million in waivers to Troy Resources in past 5 years, as country gets about $45,500 each year in royalty. Guyana's poor systems spell disaster for oil money. UG to start offering suite of executive-level courses next month, and speeding car kills 3 on roadside and injures 2 others. Stay tuned to stay informed. Now for the news in detail. Troy Resources, an Australian-based gold mining company in Guyana, has over the past 5 years saved some $22 million in fuel imports alone, and has also benefited from another 2.5 billion Guyana dollars or $13 million in tax breaks between 2016 to 2018. It would mean that the country gave about $35 million in waivers for fuel and tax breaks to the company during the period mentioned. Guyana was paid, on the other hand, 17 million Guyana dollars or $85,500 in royalties for that company during the same period, 2016 to 2018. As such, it would mean Guyana received 17 million Guyana dollars for the 2 years, or about $8.5 million. That should be $8.5 million each year in royalty, or $42,500 every year. As it relates to the fuel waivers, the company imports an average some 19 million liters of diesel annually for its operations. And now let's tell you, Guyana ushers in its newfound oil wealth in an era of poor systems for governance, procurement and management that has existed for decades. The reports from the Audit Office, the guardian of the nation's purse, testify to this on an annual basis. Now, those reports speak to numerous cases of rampant corruption and procurement breaches across ministries and regional departments. In September of 2019, Auditor General Deodat Sharma expressed dismay with the fact that the majority of his yearly recommendations to ministries, departments and regions to improve systems and practices for governance and accountability are not acted on, with many of them being repeated each year. As a result of the inaction, Sharma has said that the weaknesses and issues that impact negatively on governance and accountability mechanisms continue to occur. This state of affairs remains an area of serious concern for many transparency advocates. And now let's tell you, the University of Guyana's Institute for Energy Diplomacy has announced a suite of executive-level professional courses to begin in June 2021. UG noted that the courses are being taught by leading international academics and experts from universities around the world with long track records in training for the energy sector. The institute will deliver a minimum of 2 professional courses per month for the rest of 2021 and is expected to accelerate its offerings in 2022. It is understood that the institute aims to certify several hundred persons across various disciplines in its first year of offerings. commencing from June 2021 as the university rolls out its programs in an effort to help fill the performance gaps and expressed interests of professionals in Guyana and the region. The professional courses currently being offered are energy markets, oil and gas value chain, energy transport, and shipping and crude oil trading. That should be. And now let's tell you tragedy struck Kaieteur village on the Soosdijk-Linden highway on Sunday after a speeding motorcar slammed into a group of residents who were sitting on this side of the public road, killing 3 and injuring 2 others. The dead persons have been identified as 8-year-old Akis Jerome, 87-year-old Antonia Henry, and reportedly pregnant 40-year-old Melina Emanuels. Those who are injured but survived the crash are 8-year-old Aliana Prasad and 50-year-old Rodwell Jerome. Shortly before the tragic incident, the family had returned from a church service and was sitting on the side of the road conversing with each other. The car was being driven by 39-year-old Kevin Bizet, a member of the Guyana Fire Service. He had fled the scene but was later intercepted and taken into custody. Commander of Region 4B Mahendra Sunarine and other members of the force gave their assurance that a thorough investigation will be done. You are listening to Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. This is your news at noon. Coming up after the break, police ask marketers and agents of alleged Ponzi scheme to report to CID headquarters. And man stabbed in chest defending neighbor's home from thief. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. Let us continue with the news. The Guyana Police Force sent a notice yesterday requested that all marketers and agents of the alleged Ponzi scheme operated by Yuri Garcia Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael visit its Criminal Investigation Department headquarters at Ivleri, with their documents receiving and handing over cash to the operators. Now, Crime Chief Wendell Blanham said that the agents have made reports alleging that Garcia Dominguez threatened them to repay the investors. According to the crime chief, the agents told the police that the monies which they had in their possession were already returned to Garcia Dominguez, who in return gave them a small commission. The agents also told the police that they find Garcia Dominguez's statement requesting agents to repay investors mind-boggling. And now let's tell you a 39-year-old resident of Swan Village on the Linden-Soosdijk Highway was stabbed to his chest on Saturday while trying to ward off a robber from his neighbor's home. Nursing a single stab wound to his upper right chest area is Sean Millington. Police sources revealed that before the incident, which occurred around just after midnight, Millington was in front of his house when he noticed a man walking into his neighbor's yard and followed, observing that he was trying to gain access to the house. The two, according to reports, were involved in a brief scuffle when the suspect pulled out a sharp-pointed object from his waist, which he used to stab Millington. The perpetrator then made good his escape. Police sources said that they are still pursuing the attacker as they continue their investigation. And now let's tell you the High Court is likely to rule on the case filed to challenge the Police Service Commission over its practices in promoting senior ranks of the Guyana Police Force on June 18th. Now, attorney C.V. Satram, who is representing several officers in the case, is contending that the process, devoid of the involvement of the Police Promotion Board, is unfair, arbitrary, and lacks transparency. As such, the attorney asked the court to conduct a judicial review of the procedure and operations of the commission and make declarations that the practice is unlawful and in contravention to their rights to be promoted as officers of the Guyana Police Force. Senior Superintendent of Police Calvin Brutus is among those asking the court for a declaration that the practice of the PSC to use disciplinary matters as the basis for denying promotion is unlawful. And on that note, let's tell you, on Friday, May 21st, 2021, the Local Government Commission hosted an outreach to educate the local government organs of Region 3 on the roles and functions of the LGC, as well as to listen to their concerns. In a release, it was noted that during the outreach, several concerns were raised that were documented and will be addressed at the Commission's level. The chairman of the Commission, Mr. Julius Faber, noted that the LGC in the past was not visible and stressed that this current Commission would ensure that they take a more active role in the oversight of the local government organs throughout the country. He said that all local government organs would benefit from training and guidance sessions to execute their duties properly. With the time now moving on to 12 hours 13, time for your COVID-19 update. According to Worldometer, the number of worldwide coronavirus cases has reached 168.2 million, with deaths at 3.4 million and recovery cases at 149.6 million. The Ministry of Health yesterday announced that 2 men who tested positive for COVID-19 have died. Their deaths have now brought the country's COVID-19 death toll to 361. The ministry, in a release, noted that the latest fatalities are that of a 6 to 9-year-old from Region 1, Burima-Waini, and a 86-year-old from Region 9, Upper Takatu, Upper Essequibo. Furthermore, the Health Ministry recorded 105 new COVID-19 cases, taking the total number of confirmed cases to 16,235. 19 patients are in the COVID-19 ICU, 94 are in institutional isolation, 1,755 in home isolation, and 4 are quarantined institutionally. To date, a total of 14,006 recoveries have been recorded. Before we come to the end of today's news at noon, let's head over to the page 7 of the Kaieteur News that is dedicated to being blunt. When desperate enough, any living thing would engage in its survival instinct. Worrying it is, however, when individuals engage in banditry and other criminal activities as a means of survival. While our nation is home to a wealth of natural resources, many within our population are still living in poverty and will likely do whatever is necessary to survive. Although criminal action may be a last resort for some, such actions should never be celebrated or condoned. Rather, the government, having recognized the problem, should see the need for a collaborative effort to address the root of the problem. Our nation is currently in a desperate state. We believe that it is time that an urgent intervention is activated before our country descends into anarchy. And with that, we've come to the end of today's News at Noon. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's Newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465